Yeah, well, today was a little different. Where to begin? Where to begin about today? So I'm a little worried about Hike's business acumen. I don't know if he can deliver a target user for our idea. That's a problem. I could easily work like on any group I want to. So the only reason I'm sticking around here is because Ami's my friend. This is a pretty ambitious idea about pooling small business resources. Um, It's based on a lot of assumptions about the problems and the needs of small businesses without going out and actually talking to small business owners. Now, I'm a developer, like, I can do that. I've done that. I'm pretty good at it if I could speak French because I'm in France. I don't, so someone else needs to take care of that. But whew, we managed to talk to one guy today, the owner of like the little Chipotle like wrap place around the corner. Obviously, a guy that sells like his main form of like inventory is going to be like poultry and vegetables. That's not there. The margins are on that, and I mean he brought up some really good points about like how he wouldn't want to have the same chicken or salmon as 10 or 20 other guys in the same city because that would make him unique in selling food to customers, and that makes a lot of sense to me. It was more of like a warm up talking to him for the team, you know. Some of the questions Hyde was asking felt like he was more of a salesman and less of a business major. And it's gonna be a problem if he can't deliver like an actual target user for us because like that was the concern I had like a week and a half ago. I was like, I see the potential in this. I see the problems. Give me one person. Give me one industry. One. One. Give me one reason why to build this. Why to do this thing. And I just think that I don't know if he's going to be able to deliver. My idea is to send him and Fred, and that was a whole nother situation today. I'll get into that in a moment. Maybe out into the market and leave me, Ami, and Maria to deal with the mentor schmoozing, learning, and just overall sort of hanging out um, at the university. Because, I mean, God, I was just so irritated today. Like, Hike isn't taking this shit serious. The reason you design for a target user is so that way you can have a very clear problem, like blind people riding a public bus station in Nice, France. Super specific problem for a very specific demographic. You can make a very specific solution for these people by talking to them. Then there's a value that is, you know, then your product has a value, which is the value proposition for these blind people that are trying to ride the bus if you make a product for that. And then you have the fit for the problem solution. And then if it's good and you have good execution and it makes sense and it's profitable, then you might get investors and say, hey, this is a great idea. One more thing about my frustration today. So we need a fifth person. I'm not super worried about it. Maybe I should be more worried. We're kind of like doing first round, second round, third rounds between me, Hike, and Ami. Uh, Maria was at lunch with her brother. It's okay. I felt like Maria should have been there for that, yes. But at the same time, do I want to make Maria feel like her having lunch with her brother is like an issue and like it's going to alienate her from her brother and then make her resentful or kind of despise us or the group a little bit? No, that'd be far worse than her to be there for maybe choosing the fifth team member. But I was a little concerned that she wasn't there for that because it was important. But again, she came back and she did other stuff throughout the day that was really important and killed it and participated and like I said, wisdom just tells me not to make a big deal about that, and it wasn't. Hike, on the other hand, basically I get a chance to talk to our 5th team member, Frederic, who is a native French speaker from a different part of France, not Nice. And Ami was gonna talk to Fred, or Frederic, he prefers both. I'm sitting down resting my leg because, I'm just trying to be proactive and drain the blood out of it. I have a blood clot in my leg. And Hike comes back maybe 2 or 3 minutes later saying like, Fred's good, right? He's good? He's good. And I was like, well, I saw Hike and Ami leave together. So is he asking me if I thought he was cool, under the assumption that they both talked to him? And I was like, yeah, he's cool. And he's like, all right, you're in. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, we never even all sat down and talked about that as a group. Like, what? Like, you're mishandling things, man. Like, that's not good. So Ami comes back, and Fred says that he's so happy to be a part of our group. Ami about fucking flips her lid. At this point, I'm the gel. I have to calm her down. Like, the thing about, I know Ami, we have friends, we have mutual friends. The thing about Hike is he doesn't realize that Ami was so flippin' pissed off over his decision that she would have left the group if it wasn't for me being there. And I still think that a part of her still wanted to leave the group because that's like the 2nd time in 2 days where he's done something a little hasty, got a little excited, been a little rational, and not followed things through, not communicated to the rest of the group what he was thinking. This is like high risk stuff. I don't know. It's really stressful and a bummer. Ami gets mad, walks off. I immediately start to coach Hike and tell him that just like, that's not cool. I make some specific references to things that were said in the amphitheater and when we were sitting down upstairs, and he was going to text her and Ami comes back and she's just freaking mad, and I diffused the situation, which is good. But it's just disappointing to see that our leader just having poor decision making on the 2nd day, 3rd day, I don't even know. Like, next week is coming so fast. Like, I need to start worrying about like the engineering side of things and start getting like the Rails backend up. I've never done Rails. I've done a lot of programming languages, but I haven't done Rails. So it's going to be stressful for me at first, like just to pick that up, just like anything else. And if I'm stressed out as an engineer trying to figure out the marketing and the business side of this thing, man, it's just, it kind of upsets me because it's like I feel like Hike is like misrepresenting himself and his abilities. And if that's the case, like there are plenty of other skilled business people here. There are plenty of other ideas. I didn't even go with any of my own ideas, and I have plenty of those. I just like to bite off maybe a little bit more than I could chew sometimes, or rather, I like to push the envelope in different directions and just see how much I can learn in a short amount of time. We will see how tomorrow goes. It could be a make or break day for us. We might not be a group tomorrow. One last thing. The Estonian, I courted her a little bit in the morning, in the afternoon. Did not hear from her. Freaking mosquitoes. Didn't hear from her the entire day until, about an hour or two ago, asking if she still had room for our team. But she has the same concern that I have. How are you guys going to get customers with this? Now, I know that we'll pivot. I know that every single person here will pivot. I don't expect anything less from any of the groups. Everyone's going to fucking pivot. None of these ideas are bulletproof. I'd love to work with the Estonian, Sylvia. She's a designer, a little front end. I just hear they're great programmers. If they're great fucking programmers, maybe better than me, maybe not. Just maybe we have different skill sets and complementary ones. I'd love to be around that and see what that's like. I mean, I've worked with really smart people, and it's just always mutually beneficial. So I'm super open to working with her. it seems like she's still interested, and hopefully, like, that could come together somehow. But I'm worried about Hike and some of the decisions that he's been making. He's been a little hasty and a little reckless. But that ain't gonna fly for me in the army. Let me tell you, boy, that ain't gonna work. Oh man. So, whew. Hopefully he realizes that this was an issue, and he comes to terms without me or Ami having to get on him too much. Because if not, oh man, tomorrow, ooh, we'll see how it goes.